Markets are a mess. Stocks bleeding, crypto crashing, ETF outflows are at ludicrous levels, trade wars are on. Is this all Trump's fault, or are the markets just throwing a tantrum? Who's buying the dip? And what does a bill to build a 1 million Bitcoin strategic reserve for the US mean for the future? We're going to unpack it all today as we laugh and cry our way through the current crypto news on our Bad News episode number 768 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Welcome to the Bad Crypto Podcast, this show for the crypto curious, the crypto serious, and the crypto saddest.
Delirious.
Delirious?
Delirious.
We're so happy right now.
I feel everything's okay, you guys. It's all fine.
I need the meme of the dog in the fire drinking his coffee. I
got the yellow and the red lights behind me because it's fine. It's fine.
I got no lights. I just have natural sunlight coming in here. I feel like I need a big strobe behind me so that, I can balance out because your lights are so epic.
Yeah, they turned out pretty good. What's really weird is I've had them for like 9 months sitting in a box. And I finally said, all right, because I was like, really what happened was I needed to dust all these fucking shelves too. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take all these off and reorganize them and dust it. And I'm going to put those lights up. So I did. There they are.
Nice. Well, let's take a look at the sad crypto market cap right now and timestamp. It is 10:35 a.m.
No, it just went down. 2.7 is the line of demarcation. Oh,
we're all doomed. The total crypto market cap is currently at $2.689 trillion. Bitcoin 79,922. Ethereum 1871, XRP 209, BNB 541, Solana 120, Cardano 71 cents, Dogecoin 15.5 cents, and Tron at 22 centavos. Let's see who got clobbered this week.
You know what? Can we do this real quick before we do that? Can we go to the total market cap and then look and see where we were in like early November?
Of course we can.
Not early November. Yeah, early November, like when Trump got elected. Dude, we've almost eliminated a lot of those gains, like right before the election. Like, let's say like March 1st or November 1st.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of back to where it was, I would say, around May of last year. And it's fine. This is, again, I'm going to keep referring to this until you're totally sick of it. Okay. But if you look at the 2021 bull run that happened right around here, look at this drawdown. Bitcoin the crypto market cap hit 2.55 and dropped down to 1.2. So that is a 50% drop. And then went on by that November to hit a new all-time high. So, we have historical reference here.
Well, zoom back out again. Zoom back out. Let's look at the one we just had now. Because remember, we had remember how this right here felt like it was an early run?
Yep.
And so, we had the pre-halving sort of thing that popped. And so maybe that's already happened. Maybe we had the pop up that hit to the all-time high before, and then it went down, and then it went up. Because it's not just a crypto market that's crashing right now, folks. This is the whole stock market that's crashing too. Like if we just go look at the stock market also, like we're seeing huge dumps happening across the board. Like I'll just talk about it. The S&P hit a 6-month low. It's down $4 trillion. NASDAQ crashed 4% yesterday. That's the worst day since September 2022. Dow's dropped 900 points in the last week. Worst week since September. Tech giants like Tesla's down 40% this month. Nvidia's taking a smack to the face. They got junk marks right across the face right here. Like Nvidia's got a penis just slapped right there. So the whole market's, it's not just crypto, but we've always thought, oh, crypto and the stock market and traditional finance are decoupled, right? Well,
Not
now
yet.
with BlackRock owning so much and the ETFs and all that, we're not so decoupled.
Smack to the face, and you're to blame. You
Mm.
give crypto a bad name. Look at the fear. Fear, extreme fear.
Extreme fear.
We're so afraid of all the things. Just buckle up. That's it. Just buckle up. We know that Bitcoin is inevitable. It's inevitable.
Dude, I tell you what, it's like if we actually followed the sentiment on this just historically, like if we backtraced the fear and greed index and sort of mapped it back to it, we would like sell when it's extreme greed. And like if we just mapped it out to that, we'd almost map out to the market almost perfectly, dude. I'd like to go back and map against this. You know what's interesting? So our coin research platform is live, and we've been doing testing and back testing. And dude, it predicted that this would be the price today.
Why didn't you tell me?
It's like, well, we're just watching it. We're making sure that it's accurate, and it's starting to become pretty accurate. We're doing price prediction and modeling 24 hours in advance. We got the 3-day and the 7-day coming. And that's just harder to sort of figure out. But with all these AI tools and with the good AI team that I have, it's like the predictions are starting to be relatively accurate, which is really nice to see.
I think that's amazing. Well, there is good news in all this. Senator Cynthia Lummis, proud to reintroduce the Bitcoin Act. She said, I'm going to reintroduce landmark legislation that will codify President Trump's bold vision to establish the U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve and strengthening our nation's economic foundation for generations to come. And she goes on, talks about the promise of Bitcoin. And I believe in this video, she said that the goal is for the U.S. to have 1 million Bitcoin. So, and they're going to do it without costing the taxpayer, which is a fancy way of saying we're going to move money around from here to here.
Mm.
So
if
that's bullish.
To do that, they would just print more money and just buy it. But it's also like, well, we'd like to, get it from other sources. Like, they sold 195,000 Bitcoin that they had, acquired from like Silk Road and other sort of, like the dude with the Cheetos container that they found those Bitcoins in, because the dude had a double spin scam thing that he was working on with Silk Road, and he just kept going back and getting it. And then he took his private keys and put them in his Cheeto container right by his computer. Really safe, really hard to find there. But
is that where they go? Wait, I'll be right back. I need to move my container.
Yeah, I gotta go. Oh man, I had a Cracker Jack. I put all my crypto in my Cracker Jack box. It's like you open up, it's like, oh, it's a ledger
in a Celsius can.
and so it's just been kind of wild, dude. Like they want to take that they've confiscated, stop selling them, and hold them. Like, remember, dude, that's how freaking Tim Draper got most of his Bitcoin. Like, he bought it at an auction at a depressed price. Like, he bought all his Bitcoin at a price lower than Bitcoin. Like, they didn't even send it off to a Coinbase or something and impact the market. They sold it off over the counter. Remember that? I don't even remember how much he bought, but he got that shit so cheap. I'm gonna ask Grok right now.
Yeah, he did really well. So, it is bullish to see that happening. At the same time, you look at the amount of Bitcoin flowing out of ETFs here over the last month, and ouch, man, a lot of people taking money off the table. 4.4 billion in Bitcoin ETFs heading out since February 10th. Also, Ethereum ETFs moving out. I wonder, what is the catalyst going to be that turns this market around? Is it lowering interest rates?
Well, have they shot all their bullets in the barrel? I mean, we thought it was going to be the crypto summit. He tweeted about it on a random Sunday. Oh, and then we got the summit coming up. Oh, and it did basically all we got out of that whole thing was JD Vance memes,
which are so good. I mean, has there ever been a vice president than JD Vance? Like, has there ever been one that is in the spotlight? as
Well, that's
much
the
as JD
question
Vance.
because is he the best? That's debatable. People are going to argue. You can argue about that. But is there one more doing more shit? Like we didn't see like our previous VP that we had. I don't remember her being out much at all. They just kind of kept her,
Well,
out of the sunlight.
I mean,
Like you stay back here and out of the thing. I
that's
do
because
want
she
to.
was an idiot. She
Well,
didn't
that is true.
DEI hire.
I want to say this. So he bought 29,656 Bitcoin in June of 2014. What was the price of Bitcoin in June of 2014? Because he paid about $600 a Bitcoin for them.
Okay. Well, he killed it. Let's just say he killed
Dude,
it.
he killed it. $640 a Bitcoin. This thing can get down to 60. It can get down to $6,400 and he still 10x his money. Now we all did it, but dude, that's a hell of a deal right there. Good job, Mr. Tim Draper. Gotta give you a round of applause, Mr. Tim Draper. Good job.
Nicely done. So this Samson Mao is the
Meow.
CEO of Jan3, and he's talking about the strategic Bitcoin reserve.
Okay.
And I don't know if Trump has officially said this, but he's calling the strategic Bitcoin reserve Fort Nakamoto.
Dude, that's a great name right there.
It totally is. He said the establishment of the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve is a complete game changer as President Trump begins construction of Fort Nakamoto. It's a tiny little baby fort they're going to shove a ledger into. We will learn exactly how much Bitcoin the U.S. has, and then we'll start to see Secretary Lutnick initiate budget-neutral strategies to accumulate Bitcoin. Let's go.
Hold on.
How is this not super bullish? How is this?
I am on pump.fun right now creating Fort Nakamoto token. There's actually not a Fort Nakamoto token right now. What is up, D-Gens? Y'all are slacking.
I think everybody's just totally burnt out about with all the meme coins and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's D-Gens that are doing it, but I mean, is it
a sad statement? Too many freaking people were just going in and treating it like just completely disrespected it, dude. Like zero morals, zero ethics on them. They were just waiting. Dude, the ones that pissed me off the most was when the bonding curves was almost there, and then they would rug the bond. They would rug it right before it's about to hit the bonding curve, and like that is what should be illegal. Is that if Pump.Fund screwed up by that, they should say, hey, if you put your money in here for the bonding curve, you need to hold it for at least an hour. You can't pull it out for an hour. And they should have locked it in there or something, and they didn't. And then so people kept that just ruined Pump.Fund because people were screwing that. They weren't even waiting until the token bonded to do its thing on the market. They just rugged it ahead of time. That was just obnoxious. Freaking idiots. Ugh.
But that's anytime there's money to be made, right?
Yeah.
People will they don't care. They're not here for, look, we all want to make money, but we're not here for, we're also here for the technology, and we're also here because this is changing the system. The fiat currency system is going.
Normally, somebody making money means somebody had to lose money.
Also true. So in the EU, they're not saying a whole lot about the Bitcoin reserve here, but they are moving forward for a digital euro plan to launch in October of this year. So I'm not sure exactly what that is going to look like. Is that a central bank?
You know how they like control over there. Like it's like some of the most nefarious stuff. There it is. They're going to preparing to launch a digital euro, a central bank digital currency. Now, when that thing starts rolling out, the world's going to want to keep an eye on that because how programmable money is, right? And that's how they get their 15-minute cities. That's how they can say we're going to give you universal basic income. They're going to throw a lot of money to migrants through their digital currency plan, probably connected to some debit card or something, right? And then you're going to get X amount of it per month. And if you don't spend it by the end of the month, it expires, right? So it's going to be very hard to save money in the world of a central bank digital currency with money that's going to have all these nefarious rules and stuff, Joel.
Well, I think there's going to be some that aren't going to play as well. I mean, there are some like Italy's prime minister They're like around, getting on board with sending troops to Ukraine. They're like, no, you can count us out, and they're not going to be alone in that. Europe has its own battle, right? If you look at Europe, it's very much like the U.S. with the red versus blue, right? You've got different countries there that want nothing to do with the leftism and the anti-free speech measures. Going to jail because of a meme. Come on.
You know what? They said, they go, well, sorry, but what happened is your post on social media, you reposted it really triggered someone and hurt their feelings.
You've
So we're going
offended
to
them.
put you in jail. But I'm like, wait a second, you're going to put me in jail? Well, that's going to trigger me. It's going to hurt my feelings. So like, whose feelings are hurt more? Me, because I'm going to jail? Or this guy, because he hurt his feelings because words hurt his little baby little soul? But that's not the point, sir. The point is you said something quite rude, and this person got triggered, and they have anxiety. What are you talking about? I got anxiety. I'm going to freaking jail. My bunghole has anxiety now.
I'm pre-puckering.
The hell are you talking about? That makes no sense. Zero.
You know who's not puckering at all during all of this? Michael Saylor. He is probably not even breaking a sweat. He is announcing a new $21 billion stock sale to do what? To buy more Bitcoin. So they're selling $21 billion in preferred STRK stock to buy more. He's got 499,096 Bitcoin right now. And I wonder at this price, what would it buy? What would 21 billion buy at this price? Ask Grok that. How many coins would they get at let's say $80,000 with 21 billion? I mean, the dude's not flinching at all. He's not going to stop. He buys when it's low. He buys when it's high. And Bitcoin goes where we think it's going to go.
Wow, that would be another 262,500 Bitcoin.
Wow. Wow. They get him to $750,000 plus on it. And nobody
how do I borrow I got a good credit score. How do I get a couple $1 billion to buy Bitcoin?
That's a good question. Ask Grok that too.
Hey, Grok, I don't know. How do I create Trav strategy? I need Travagy, and I need to figure out like micro Travagy, which is also the name of my penis.
It's just strategy now.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, which is also interesting. So the task force continues to task and force more upcoming roundtables coming for the SEC and figuring out what crypto regulation is going to look like and defining what a security is, how we got here and how we get out. So you know what needs to happen? I think another bullish move would be for them to dismiss the lawsuit against Ripple. Right? Don't you think that would?
I thought they already. So it's like all right, Ripple, you're good, and they're like, but hold on, we still got this other thing. We got to appeal it several times or whatever. But it's like we got a friendly SEC and just let it go. What are you doing?
Well, I think that they have to listen. The government needs to listen to the crypto world. Why? Well, one reason is it had a lot to do with putting Trump in office, right? Crypto firms spent $134 million on the 2024 U.S. election. Some are concerned about the influence. I'm more concerned about those who are influencing the dollar than those who are influencing Bitcoin.
I'm more concerned about it. Says over there, Bitcoin price bounces 4% as data gives 89% chance that stock's bottom is in. So
let's go ahead and let's see what else it says about that.
I kind of want the bottom to be in. Kind of tired of seeing it going down. So, but here's the thing. I look at this as, it did hit 76,800 or something last night, right? Or over the night in the morning. And to me, the point of demarcation is, let's please not go below 69,420 because that was like the previous high of the previous cycle. We don't want to go below that. Now there's some lines there that say we don't want to go below this line of support. But to me, the previous all-time high of the previous cycle, that's the one you don't want to go down. You want to bounce off of that and go back up to the stratosphere, you guys. We don't want to Tired of it going down. I'm making jokes, but I'm sad.
There, Travis.
You
It's
know what I
okay.
mean? You
It's
guys.
it's okay, Travis. So World Liberty Financial, Trump's company, is almost sold out of their WLFI tokens, but man, they're heavy in Ethereum, and so just like anybody else who has
Well, it's
Ethereum
built on
in their
Ethereum.
bag, yeah, it's like wah, 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 wah,
Mm.
down 3 million in a day. Okay, well, I mean, for Trump, that's nothing.
We need Barron to Trump to come in with his time machine and help fix it all. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
where is Barron? We've not seen much of Barron right now. They're letting
Yeah,
that kid live his life.
I think so. It seems nice. It seems nice. But you know what? He's like he seems to be a pretty sharp kid from what I've seen. But dude, he does stay out of the limelight. It's how they've. I'll tell you what. Compare Trump kids to some of the Democrat leaders' kids, right? I mean, I think Chelsea seems relatively normal, but there's just so much corruption that's happened on that. You know, you don't hear much about the Bush kids like Jenna and those guys, right? You don't hear so much about those.
Right.
Now, Obama's kids, they're like one of them's off the rails, like doing all kinds of drugs and doing crazy stuff. I want one went off the rails big time. And then Biden's kids.
Yeah, who would you leave your children with as a babysitter, Hunter Biden or Don Jr.?
Right, Ivanka.
It depends how much
Ivanka's
you.
probably the hottest first kid like of any president ever. Period,
Yeah,
bar none. Like
for
that
sure.
girl, she is smoke. She's brilliant. Went to great school. You know, that's the whole thing. So if you got a lot of money, you do create some privilege for your kids to be able to put them into the best schools and all this other stuff that gives them huge opportunities. But my good, and plus, if he is successful, you marry supermodels and have supermodel looking kids. Right, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's life. So you know that I don't understand Canadian politics all that much, but they have a new
Why?
prime minister. Justin
How in
Trudeau
the
is
hell?
gone.
What does that even mean? How in the hell has this guy become prime minister? They didn't vote for him.
No, but Trudeau resigned, and the official elections don't happen till I don't know if it's
So
later
he
this
just stepped
year.
down and said, "All right, you guys, I'm out of here.
So
I've
that so
turned enough."
they voted, but the people didn't vote, right? I think it's the
His
government.
party voted or whatever.
Yeah, I
His
said we
party
want our guy in there. I don't know. So I don't understand exactly
You
how it
know, I
works.
think if it's a fire, if it's a trash trailer fire like it was, it's like let him out. You know, it's almost like I wonder if, for example, the Biden presidency was a trash fire. If he said, "Oh, I'm old, I'm not feeling good," like in July or whenever he bowed out of the election, re-election, if he had said, "I'm stepping away," and then Kamala became the first woman president, and then she had like 100 days of being president, and then they sort of maneuvered some stuff to make it look good for her. Like there are people would have been like, "Hey, she doesn't had enough time yet. Let's totally let her keep going." Right? Like it would have been probably a better strategy for Biden to step down just for optics' sake. You know what I mean? And they would have got their first female president, and then they could have gone against Trump. It's like here's the incumbent female president versus Trump. It could have been a different narrative.
You know, there's people in Congress that are now challenging the legitimacy. First of all, at some point, we're going to get a full investigation into the 2020 elections. And when they do reveal what we know to be true, that they stole the thing, how do you invalidate a presidency? But more recently, they're saying that they used an auto pen signature for all these executive
Dude, I
orders
saw that. Do we have
and
a video of
decrees.
that? Like, yeah, it was literally. It's like powered.
Right.
Wow.
So there are people in Congress that are now challenging the legitimacy of anything that wasn't actually signed by Biden, that they know it was the bureaucrats around him because his mind is like jello. He didn't even know,
Mm,
what he was doing. And
yeah,
of course, we saw that a couple years ago,
yeah.
but the media, his mind is sharper than ever. remember when he gave that State of the Union talk and and they're like, oh, he was full of energy and this was the best Biden, and they tried to sell it, and then a week later he drops out.
Dude, the media just gaslights everyone because they're paid for by one side of the deal, and that's how it goes. It's almost like if you pay these newscasters $1 million a year or something that they get, some of them like Rachel Maddow, millions of dollars a year, like they're going to say exactly what you want them to say. Like the only one who didn't was Tucker. And he said, okay, I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to say what I think is real. And then as he's gone down his own rabbit hole, it's been wild watching his sort of post mainstream media sort of journey, you know what I mean? And how his narratives are sort of pop out. But you're right. Like the fact that they were signing it. Now here, I was thinking of this. As you were saying that, I was like, well, they should, every time one of the presidents signs one of these orders, they totally should video it. But now I'm looking at some of the high quality of these deep fake videos that are coming out now with AI. Like it's next level quality. I haven't figured out how to make them yet, but I've been playing with Hey Jen, and Hey Jen, I have my own Travatar, right? And it's like I put in a 10-minute video of me talking, and the video is so good. It even has my background behind me and the colors are changing. Like you almost can't tell that it's not 100% real. Like we almost should have a podcast where we kind of go back and forth, where your version and my version, and we put it together, and it's neither one of us actually talking. It's our AI versions of it.
What if this was a spoiler alert and this show was actually that, and we reveal it now that I am the Joelbot, you are the Travatar.
I'm the Travatar. I'm Travatarded. Welcome to the show.
Franklin Baines.
But it's just wild. So, we could say, oh, we need to have the president signing everyone. Then they can just make video. They'll just make deep fake videos of them signing it. So it's like
kind of like a moon landing.
We're almost to the point where, yeah, right. That was one of the original deep fakes, probably. We're almost to the point where people are going to start getting arrested with video evidence for shit they didn't even do, but the evidence is so good, and they're not putting threads of evidence within the videos to prove otherwise. So it's almost, and then AI is so smart, it's going to get to the point where these videos are imperceptible to fraudulent behavior. They're not even going to be able to tell it, and they're going to use that shit in court as evidence. Like, how, just for example, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're the most arrested players in the league in the last decade. Well, over the weekend, Xavier Worthy gets arrested for choking out his fiance, right? So he goes to jail. Oh, turns out it was wrong. It was fake. The lady said he did it, but he didn't. And she cheated on him, and he's got scratches all over his face, and she pulled out his hair, but they believed her, right? And so how long until she goes, oh, look, here's the video evidence of him doing this. And like, oh, wow, he did it. And like, no, he didn't. So it's like, it's going to be so weird. Like these next 5 years moving forward, to even to 2035 is going to be like, you got to be so good at critical thinking now. Like these boomers, like my mom all the time, she'll see a video. She's like, well, what Mr. Beast just said? Look at this, what Mr. Beast just said. Mr. Beast didn't say that. They're fooling people so much. So you got to be really smart.
I'm not really smart. What do I do?
Well, you got to be as smart as you can be.
Okay, I'll be as smart as I can be. So to wrap, put a ribbon around this, the guy Carney, who is the new Prime Minister of Canada, allegedly has no parliamentary experience, which you don't need, but he's got a career in managing economic crises, and he's got a good reputation. He's not a supporter of Bitcoin and decentralized cryptos. And frankly, Canada is going to do what Canada is going to do, and the 51st state eventually will have, a president. And I actually think that that's a possibility now, whereas before I'm like, he's just trolling, he's just joking. I think that these tariffs are really going to hurt Canada, because I was looking at the numbers of what they actually charge us, sometimes 100, 200% on things that are, imported, that they're charging us. And we're just trying to be reciprocal. We're saying, hey, let's be fair here. You got a $200 billion deficit. We're paying more for stuff from you than you're paying from us. Let's make all things equal. And I think, they're not smart to go to war with us, in a trade war. I think it's going to hurt the Canadian people. And maybe Trump's going to reveal that through these tariffs and go, hey, we can fix all this. Why don't you guys come on board here and join the United States of America?
The approximation of us being so close and, speaking the same language and realistically,
Except for those Frenchies in Quebec, eh?
right. But, being the most sort of, we're very similar people for the most part. And it would make sense, America and Canada, to sort of have a union. But they've been charging us tariffs. So if I go in and do a search, so they set the tone. So back in the day, Canada's tariff regime leaned heavily on protecting their domestic industries before 1994. Mm-hmm. And so John McDonald, he had a farm and he liked to set high tariffs.
Did he like to say EIEIO?
Yeah, and it made us EIEIO lots of money. And so then now their dairy and poultry and eggs under their supply system since the 70s have had tariffs as high as 270% on milk, 245% on cheese, 237% on chickens to limit U.S. imports so they can stabilize their lower prices. Then we've had the NAFTA era, which has still had huge sky high dairy and poultry tariffs. But now we give them a tariff and they freak out. Yeah. Isn't that just the way people get triggered?
That is the way people get triggered. And then the media spins it into something that it's not. And that's why you can't believe anything that they say. By the way, side story, I just read somewhere that the price of eggs has fallen below the price when Trump got elected. Like it's down like 10 cents lower because it went like that, recently, and now it's brought back down. So promises made, promises kept. Eggs are cheaper.
Well, dude, it's so crazy to think about. Oh yeah, we're the price of eggs, but dude, wasn't there like 150 million chickens killed because of the poultry flu scam, the bird flu scare, right? And so you're like, well, yeah, let's wait. We need more. These chicks need to grow up to become hens and then start having babies. And okay, yeah, can we wait?
Everything that's happening is what the American people voted for. And I think it's going to play out really good. And I love Trump's optimism. And even regarding this economy, he's saying, hey, it could be worse for a while. But this is what happens when you've got to fix so much. When you're doing surgery, there's a lot of blood, right? When you cut somebody open, right, it's messy. And you got to get in there to repair. And it's not pretty when you take things apart to put them back together properly. And they need to stop putting Band-Aids on it. They need to stop adding components to this thing. You got to dismantle it. And it's going to be a little messy. You're going to get hands dirty and it's going to impact us negatively in the short term. But in the long term, we're going to be like the bionic man, $6 million man, Steve Austin. We can rebuild him. We can make him better.
Well, it's a good optimistic point of view, but there's a lot of people freaking out. But it's like, Social Security is doing this, but then it's like Social Security, they go in and they just I don't know why
taking away anybody's Social Security.
I don't know why anybody would be upset. I know where you're going to rant, but I haven't got my point out yet.
I wasn't done.
Well, dude, he actually just said it's an entitlement. It probably should be killed. Elon said that. So that's a problem. But people freaking out about the fact that things are being audited. And they're like, dude, if there's been scams going on with the Social Security when there's somebody that's 360 years old that's still on the records, that doesn't have a death record in the system yet, you got all these people who are over 200 years old, all these people under 150 years old, all these people over 120 years old. Like there's been maybe how many, maybe just a few handfuls of people who've ever made it to 120 years old. So let's assume everybody under 220 is accurate. It's probably not. Probably a lot of people died in their 60s and 70s and 80s. And those people are not alive anymore. They're still on voting roll calls. So if you are fighting that, which Act Blue is funding all these protests against Tesla and then their dealerships and all this other stuff, right? That's being tracked because these NGOs flow money to these other ones. And it's almost like that's the government's crypto mixer. It's like, oh, we put our money over here. They take our money over here. They mix it up. They send it to this NGO, gets it back over here. And then they pay for protests. dude, it's just all a clusterfuck. You got to clean all that stuff up. So you got to get to a point where it's like, hey, let's get to zero. Let's figure out where all this crap's gone, and we fix it and we rebuild it. Keep everything going, because you can't. I mean, if you take away Social Security for a lot of those old people who have no retirement, no purpose, that'd be disaster.
They're not going to take it away from people that have
That's
it
what
coming.
they're fueling them the fear of, though.
But they're very clear on it as well. They're not going to stop Social Security you can't say, hey, you've invested in this and now you get nothing. No, what that means is they will stop the program going forward. So we're not going to tax you for Social Security more. What they need to do and what they should have done ages ago was say, hey, we're going to take a certain part of your income and you have to put it into your own IRA, right? Because the money that comes back, I don't know how many thousands and thousands I put into Social Security, but I can take early starting next year. I'm going to be 62 next year. This year I'll turn 61. So I can take early, and it's something like $2,300 a month if I take early. And it's like $3,200 if I wait, 5 more years. So of course I'm taking my money out because I can make more with that than I will.
But you're right. Could you imagine they said, all right, you're putting all this money in. You got to actually take, 60% of this, and here's different options. You force you into like some stock market stuff or some, annuities or whatever, because if you had hit along any of those times, like, look, even from the 1990s on, I went, and had a dip at the end of the 90s. Oh, 2000, but look, the price of where it was to where it is now is just huge. And so, excuse me, even if we had been in the S&P 500 or something, you know what I mean? Just the economy, because the value of the dollar always decreases, the price always goes up and to the right over time.
I wonder, it'd be really interesting to chart that out and to see what the difference is. I guarantee that if people had invested their money instead of into the Social Security program into some sort of actual interest-bearing account, then we wouldn't be worrying about retirement at all. Like, people would have more than enough.
Well, I mean, and then almost if you think about that, like if the part of those funds go into almost like a VC fund for startups and entrepreneurial sort of things, because it's like, all right, we have all this retirement funds that's going into investing in the future of America's innovation. That'd be a whole other thing, right? And so I don't know. I think there's probably a better plan. We could probably ask the new Manus. Have you seen the new Manus AI tool that just came out? Dude.
There's a new tool every week.
No. This is.
I know, and every week it's this. Every week it's the best thing since.
Well, no. We've left the Chat GPT era of AI, and we've gone into the autonomous agent AI era. You can't even get access to Manus, but dude, like that, you literally can just give it a prompt. It has its own computers. It's over here working 20, 30 minutes or so, and comes back and like, oh, here's your full app done. Here's your full website all created. This fully updated
It sounds sexist to me. Are the lefties upset yet? Are they saying, why isn't there a womaness?
Well, China did it. So what are you gonna do? Why isn't it?
Oh, we bought manners for you. Don't be a menace to society. Why you be missing? A few quick stories right here. The U.S. Housing Department mulls blockchain stablecoin to pay and monitor grants. Hey, you know what? If you're giving grants out and you're tracking them on blockchain, I think that this is a very positive thing. Secretary Turner of HUD is saying that they want to stop wasting taxpayer dollars. And an audit shows that, look at this. There are 35,855 ServiceNow licenses, software license on 3 products, and they're only using 84 of them. There's 11,000 Acrobat licenses with 0 users. Wow. How crazy is this? The waste, fraud, and abuse is off the charts.
Yeah. I'm really curious about this, because a lot of these services and whatnot have been very antiquated. Like, they're not really up to speed. They print shit out and put it in boxes and store it downstairs in their underground tunnels, and it's just weird. And so I do look at this, and one side of me, I go, man, this is great. They're cleaning it all up. The other side is, are they connecting all these government services to some AI service? Because that's what, that's really what that new model context protocol that's come out is connects all these different things, these LLMs, to these different tools and pulls in different data sources. So I wonder if like our whole government's not going to be run off of AI over the course of these next couple of years. I mean, that to me doesn't feel great. I'll be honest, that doesn't feel great to me. I looked into my feels and I was like, does this feel good or does that feel bad? I don't trust AI, dude. AI is crazy.
I don't
It's
disagree.
AI, really. That's what I say.
So the things that Elon is doing is definitely meeting some resistance. There was a huge yesterday. I tried to log into X and it wouldn't load up. They had a bunch of different outages, and
Couldn't
Elon
even
Musk
have
was
Twitter
coming out
Spaces yesterday, so I literally went to the Bark Park. Took my dog out to the Bark Park
the
instead.
Bark Park. Well, that
Yeah.
made Tukey happy.
Oh, Tukey.
So I don't think he said it here, but somewhere I heard him say that they were tracing it to Ukraine, is what
Yeah, I
they're
saw that.
saying.
I saw that as well.
So not
But who even knows that? Because you could change where you think your things come from. The
yeah,
point
but
that
they got really smart people.
good deal. So the SEC looking to abandon this effort to require crypto firms to register as exchanges, but not all crypto firms are exchanges, and so it doesn't make sense for them to have to register as them. So this is a rule right here that seems like it's probably pretty smart. We don't want to necessarily not everybody fits in the same basket.
No, I don't think they do. And they're trying to look at things fairly, as they should, right? Everything needs to be looked at. Because the previous administration, they didn't know that. I think for them, anything that was changed from the status quo was scary and risky, and they didn't want to have to deal with it. So they just said, you can't do this. And so now they're looking at it fairly and go, all right, why are they doing this? How does this work? How will this affect people and the economy, and good on them. More though, that could be more pain. Mount Gox has moved 905 million more worth of Bitcoin to unmarked wallets. So
that will probably be a lot of that will probably be liquidated. So we have to keep an eye on that. But realistically, $1 billion in the state of where we are right now, it's not a whole lot of money compared to where we are. But I mean, that stuff that could just be eaten up pretty quickly in a good market. But right now, the market's being weird for show. And then the next article right here about the Ether. So this right here, this Ether whale was about to experience a whole lot of liquidation on some of his trades, and he because the price kept tanking, and so he deposited 2,000 ETH as collateral and was paying back 1.5 million worth of the stable coin to save himself $350 million, dude. Like, whoa.
Wow. Nice save.
Dude, he was
Mister.
minutes away from losing his ass on that one.
His assets too.
That's
The Senate Banking Committee is voting on a bipartisan genius stablecoin bill this week, aimed at regulating stablecoins, enhancing consumer protection. They want more clarity around stablecoins. I think this, the first legislation we're going to see is going to be around stablecoins, and then it's going to go from there. Genius. Brilliant. What's
wait a
happening
second, though. Normally whenever they name something, it normally means the opposite of it.
It's not what it is.
It's not genius. It's the dumbass
stupid.
plan, probably. Whenever it's like, oh, it's a Patriot Act. Oh, no, it's not. It's not really patriotic. It's actually not. And they always try to name things. The Federal Reserve. Oh, it's not federal. It's not reserve. But it goes over most people's heads like, oh, they're doing a genius thing. And I don't know. I've not dove into the details on it, but I'm always suspect of anytime they name something that sounds good, I go, what actually is this?
So I
don't trust it at all, bro.
One final story for you, Sir Lord Travis. Virtual's protocol revenue crashes as AI agent demand sinks. Why is demand for agent seeking? I thought that this is where everything was going. Everything was moving to AI
Solana. I think the price of Solana is tanking. I think there's a lot of things that's going on with this. There's more advanced platforms that are coming out. And I'll tell you this, trying to actually buy tokens with the virtual token, it was such a fiasco, such a pain in the ass. So had a friend of mine launching a token over there for his platform. That's like a Web3 data platform. And the token was, for one, the token launch was kind of a cluster because we were on a space on Mario while they were launching it. And so I had to convert some ETH to USD on this other network. So I had to bridge it over to base. Then I had to send it, when I got it over there, I had to convert it from my USDT to virtuals, because I couldn't buy it on base with the USDT. You have to actually buy the virtuals AI agents with the virtual tokens. So I had to buy them. And so I bought as many as I could. I transferred over. Oh, well, now I don't have any ETH to actually do the transaction, right? And so, all right, got to send some more ETH over. And then by the time that I bought it, it had already bonded. And so the price was, so it was just it was not smooth. And I think most normies would never go in and try to do anything when it comes to virtuals.
I guess we will just have to watch and see what's going to happen with that, Sir Lord Travis. So, everybody's getting clobbered right now in the market. It's just how it is. But we want to thank our sponsor for the show, KikiCat, kikicat.xyz, the crypto cat with 11 billion views on Giphy. And this is all about community with real IP.
Yeah.
There's the cat.
I love the fact that they actually spent 7 figures on acquiring the actual license to the IP. So this is not just, hey, I make a token, here's the token. It's actually something that does stuff. And I believe Ian said on the 15th is when they're launching their very first video game. And they have a bunch of video games in the pipeline for Kiki. And Asia loves this type of stuff. Like, they are going crazy for this. They're the ones that are sharing mostly the memes. And look at that. So they got the little Kiki apps are popping out. There's different types of, they're working with some really cool properties. They're building some really cool apps that look pretty fun. I haven't had a chance to test them yet because they're not fully live. But dude, this is something like, these are the kinds of memes that I think should have a greater tail and a greater long-term existence. And think about this. Even Shiba Inu dropped 99% from its all-time high.
Absolutely.
Right? All these did. And so this one right here hit 100 million. Now it's at 6 million. But dude, it could pop off. Once it pops off, as more of these things get built in and start doing stuff, there you go.
You guys check it out. kikicat.xyz is the website. And Sir Lord Travis, that's going to wrap it up for today. And we appreciate those of you watching the live stream. For those of you that don't know that you're listening to the podcast recorded, we do this live Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is also, incidentally, because of daylight savings time, also Atlantic Standard Time right now.
Which is probably nicer for you. It doesn't seem as early. You're like,
yeah, we didn't change.
Oh, so it's the same for you.
It's our time zone doesn't change. The rest of the country does. So it was 11:30 for me that we used to get started. Now it's 10:30.
Oh, okay. So it does kind of change for you.
Yeah. So I gotta wake up earlier, but it's fine. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching.
And we're also here on Thursday. So it's a Thursday thing. We're doing a live thing. And the thing is most of the time on Thursday, that show does not come out as a podcast. So if you want to tune in and listen to more of our badness and our badassness, as John McAfee likes to say, these two badasses from Bad Crypto. He said that. He did say that.
He did say that. We have a recording of that.
So you can tune in on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's good. Make sure you leave us a review if you are tuning into the podcast. We really need some of those 5-star reviews. Apple seems like that. Spotify seems it helps the algorithm. You should tell a friend about how amazing and funny and handsome Joel is, and that other guy's okay and whatnot. But we really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for that. And anything else, Sir Lord Joel Comm?
Well, they just need to know to stay back.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.